What's up, guys? Just gonna head down to the dock here, back behind my place, and see if there's any bonefish or anything worth throwing a fly at. Saw a permit back here the other day, but it's a pretty rare occurrence. It's actually the first permit I've ever seen in this little stretch. I've seen some people catch some back here. So I saw a guy stick one at the end of the point here a bunch of years ago, but you can see a lot of the fish moving through the flat sometimes. When you come down here, sometimes you just see big schools of everything, but pretty rarely permit. So I'm gonna see if I can find something. I think bonefish are probably my best bet, if anything at all. But just hanging out at the house. It's a 2-block walk. I literally just left my yard as I started talking to you guys, and I'm already at the dock that I'm gonna fish. So it's pretty cool. Have a fishery that close. This is the little spot that I'm gonna pop in and see what's going down at. And right over here on these flats, you can kind of see some green patches there in the seagrass. You can see the weather right now is a bit cloudy and whatnot. This is the little beach stretch that I live on, right over there behind that yellow building. And I'm hoping that this overcast is gonna give a little coverage and maybe cause the bonefish to be out feeding. So let's hit the bridge and take a look. I don't see anybody yet. Got to be real, I don't see like any fish at all. Usually this flat is just covered in fish, whether bonefish or whatever. Usually there's a lot of fish right out here though, and I do not see any. Let's go all the way out here to the tip. This is where you really see schools hanging out. Well, there's a couple little needlefish on top. Ooh, there's a school of bonefish right there. All right. So you guys, I did spot a school of bonefish right here at the end of the dock. And the fly that I have on is just this little eyeball-y, peach looking fly. And I don't really know if it's the best bonefish fly, but what I hooked up on the other day with was something of a similar color, and that fish just smoked me and broke me off, wrapped around a piling, broke me off. And so I'm gonna just throw a similar color at these guys and we'll see what happens. Damn, they were right underneath me just now. I didn't realize they were right here underneath me. And when I stood up, I spooked them. Well, you guys, I kind of blew it. I walked out there and I spotted that school of bonefish, backed down the dock a little ways because I didn't want to spook them, and kind of set up right there on the dock so that I could turn around and try to target at them. And when I stood up, the whole school had moved right up underneath where I was on the dock, and they were all just sitting directly underneath me. And when I stood up, I just spooked them all and they bailed. And then I only saw a few after that. And at this particular little dock in the back here, they're super skittish. So head off to the next one.
When my friends go, it was simple. When the end's low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I don't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike. I go hard day and night, yeah. I go hard day and night. Wanna run, no surprise. See the hate in their eyes. My brothers blood money bleed. I got the game in the squeeze. What would you do for some green? What would you do for some blues? Go pick and choose the family of cheese. Some people not built like that. Some people get killed like that. Pressure like water, lights, mortgage. I've been at bills like that. Now I got kids like that. No wonder why I feel like that. Some people go to war for none. Me, I go to war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. Some people go to war for none. Me, I go to war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. When my friends go, it was simple. When the end's low, switch the tempo.
Well, you guys, I'm learning that the secret to bonefish fishing really is just not spooking the fish. When you first walk up onto a hole, if you spook the school, they're aware you're there, they're over it. Once you hook one, the whole rest of the school is pretty much over it. I didn't get another one of these fish, there's maybe 50 fish out here in different packs, to take like an honest look at my bait. They all, or my fly, I got this little fly on here, they all pretty much immediately knew it was not what they wanted. What up, dudes?
Vai, acciaio. Hanno plantatela.
E tem usando mais fica assim, tu olha só. Aluno baxado para
Tem antes dois no tá falando, Joe.
Ai, tem como tem ali, tem só, né? Tem.
Pulling up and reading the local paper. I used to live in that little greenhouse right there, right by the football field. That's when me and Brandon basically first met. Think Melody's doing food right now?
Yeah.
Let's get some food from her. Had to stop off at Miss Melody's and grab a little lunch. I'll tell you guys, this stew chicken is amazing. It's a classic Belizean dish. Stew chicken's probably the most universal dish that you're gonna find in Belize. You'll get it with beans and rice, or you'll get it with rice and beans. And so beans and rice will be like stew beans, and then white rice. And rice and beans will be like a mix of them. And then a little bit of slaw on the side. That's like the most classic dish you're gonna get right there. So good. It's got a little bit of her homemade habanero hot sauce on it, and it's just really hitting. If you come to Belize, make sure to get yourself some stewed chicken from a little local joint too. Don't go into some fancy restaurant that's like on the beach and then order some stewed chicken. You know, go ahead and order your coconut prawns or your whatever, you know, Caribbean snapper or whatever it is that you're gonna get. Go ahead and order that in a fancy restaurant. Go find a small local joint and order some real stewed chicken from them, because this is some fire right here. Just juicy fall apart chicken, white rice and beans, balances it all out, and a little bit of slaw as a palate refresher. It's the jam. Well, you guys, we got a little food in us and headed back to the first spot. And to be real, there's a guy right down the beach from me as we pulled up, landing a bonefish. And these fish are so skittish. Oh, there's one right there. That's a big one too. There's one right there in the flats, and it's eating something already. These fish are so skittish though that somebody else already catching one does not make me feel great. Sardines. These ones are all really pretty small, and those are what we call glass sprat. I think there's some of both. There's some regular sardines right in there, and then there's some glass sprat up top. These are all really pretty small and probably too small for my net. Even sardines that I saw my buddy catch out here the other day were big, real sardines, like nice big real sardines, and that would be worth running back and grabbing the net for. I would even fry a couple of those up because they can be delicious. But for now, we're just doing the bonefish stock, taking a little walk. One night, you guys, I was out walking these flats, and it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. This was a few years back, and I was walking over a small little sandy patch, and I felt a little sting in the bottom of my toe. I was like, what was that? Definitely was like a distinctive sting, you know, felt like a little bee sting, but it started to get worse immediately. And so I packed up my stuff, you know, I kind of freak out when you don't know what stung you, something out of the ocean. So I packed up my stuff and made it over to the shore area. So I found this old local boy and was like, yo, I just got stung by something, man. And he was like, what? And I was like, a tiny little sting on the bottom of my foot. And I just saw a little tuft of sand disappear. I never even saw what stung me at all, like something real small. And he just starts laughing, like hard, like really laughing at me, and points, and he goes, you stepped on a blue ball grouper. And that's not a real thing. He's all, yeah, blue ball grouper. And there's a bunch of bonefish right over there, you guys. And he goes, yeah, you stepped on a blue ball grouper. You're gonna have the worst blue balls of your life for about 3 days. And I don't think a blue ball grouper is a real thing. I think he was pulling my chain there. But he was absolutely right about me having the worst blue balls of my life for about 3 days. And I just laid in bed. I had a little local girl I was hanging out with at the time bring me food and stuff. I took showers like all day long. It was brutal. So I think it was probably some kind of tiny little stonefish or some kind of other little fish that I'm just unaware of. But if you're out here walking the flats in the middle of the night on the sand, which is a totally fine thing to do. I've done it 1,000 times. I did it just now, I'm gonna do it again. But you know, be aware, you might step on a little fish the size of a piece of sand or something like that. And because it was tiny, whatever stung me was tiny, and you'll have the worst blue balls of your life for a few days. So, right back behind me here on the flats is some bonefish. And it's really, really crisp. It's really, really shallow. And I am kind of afraid I'm gonna just spook them when I cast at them. So I'm gonna try to do what I can. I'm gonna try to maybe cast in front of them and have them swim into what I'm hucking at them. But we'll see how it goes. They're right over here. There's one, I'm on. Come on, guys. Yeah, first bonefish on the trip. First bone on a fly. And it's a Josh Ballance Bitters. Ran down there and went around a post just like the last one. Oh yeah. Awesome, you guys. That's my first bonefish of the trip right there. Beautiful little Josh Ballance Bitters that he tied for me. How cool is that, you guys? My first little bonefish of the trip. Caught it on the fly that my buddy tied for me. Little beautiful Josh Ballance bonefish bitter right there. I'm gonna go ahead and get this back into the water real quick so that this fish can get caught again. Awesome, beautiful little fish. Bye, bud. So that was super, super fun, you guys. First bonefish fully landed on the trip. I've hooked into a couple, but they busted me off. Caught it on this little pink and white fly that a buddy of mine tied for me. We saw a little fly they call a bonefish bitter online, which was like a real classic Belize fly. And he was like, I could make one of those. So whipped me up a couple. The first one I threw, I got busted off on by a little puffer fish. It just came in and frayed my line right away and took it down. But tied up again, and a couple days later, bam, finally smashed a little bonefish. So super stoked on that. Thanks for the fly, Josh. Yeah, we know they work now, buddy. I'm gonna see if it's possible for me to catch another one. So let's go, guys. Well, you guys, sometimes one and done is all you get out here with these schools of bonefish. You pick one up out of the school and the whole school scatters down to another dock. So I'll probably walk around and see if I can't find another dock, but that was a blast.